is the choice the American people will be asked to make.
Anita Dunn, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Joining me now, columnist for the Las Vegas Sun, John Ralston, and Minneapolis Mayor R.T. Rybak. Good to see both of you. And let's start with you, R.T. You just heard Anita Dunn. She was commenting on the great economic news for the president and how they're still necessarily, they are concerned about how far they have to go. What's your take on this?
Well, the reality is we had a president who inherited an economy in the tank. He took some tough, bold moves, including helping to save the auto industry, which, by the way, made 1 million more cars, and, by the way, which Mitt Romney would have let go in the tank. And the economy is slowly turning around. So 200,000 more people are working, but the president's also connecting that to other things, like in Nevada, where people have huge challenges with their homes. He's focused on getting banks to the table. If banks were bailed out, then banks should help homeowners as they try to stay in their homes, especially responsible borrowers, and that's the kind of work he's been doing. So connecting all of these things together.
Mayor, you're right. That is certainly one concern at the moment at home values. We've got foreclosures. John, let me move to you here. The mayor talking about Nevada. You know, they're facing the highest unemployment rate, 12.6% right now. How's that going to play on Saturday and, for that matter, November?
Well, I think that's Barack Obama's biggest problem is the economy in Nevada. As you pointed out, 12.6% sounds pretty high. Guess what? It was almost 3 points higher than that, at least 2.5, higher than that a couple of years ago. It's still highest in the country. The foreclosure problem here is an absolute nightmare, though, Michael. More than 80% of the people who live in Las Vegas have their homes underwater. The foreclosure crisis is going to be a huge issue. The real interesting dichotomy, though, is that the president now essentially coincidentally, in an election year, has come up with this mortgage refinance program. At least he's saying to the people in Nevada and elsewhere, here's what I'm going to do for you. The Republicans have handled this issue here, in my opinion, very badly. Mitt Romney said, let the foreclosure process just go to the end. And the whole free market ethos, I think, is a problem for them because people here, they want to know what the government's going to do to help. They don't want to hear, let the free market reign. So, John, you're saying there's some opportunity for the GOP candidates to take on that message in a way that voters would care about more or can understand. John, also, before we get to you, Mayor, bring up a discussion that you had yesterday. You talked to Mitt Romney, and he responded about what some have called his verbal gaffe when he was saying, I'm not concerned about the poor. Let's play the clip of you speaking to him.
John, it was a misstatement. I misspoke. I've said something that is similar to that, but quite acceptable for a long time. And you know, when you do, I don't know how many thousands of interviews, now and then you may get it wrong. And I misspoke.
So he admitted that to you, John. Do you think it's over, or does this narrative of Romney being out of touch continue? Well, my guess is, Michael, that when the Democrats and the presidential campaign play that clip of Mitt Romney talking about the very poor, they won't play the clip from my program where he says he misspoke and made a misstatement. You know, you can't unring the bell in this world of the internet and YouTube and political ads. Listen, I was fairly surprised when I did that interview that he just came out with that. Right. Clearly his campaign told him, listen, this is not good for the general narrative of Mitt Romney. Especially, guess what? A few minutes before he went and did what? Got endorsed by Donald Trump. Speaking of which, was not Speaking of which, exactly, John, and we'll move to RT here. You know, it was definitely Las Vegas all over. You know, Donald Trump coming out, endorsing Mitt Romney. He had the nice pomp and circumstance. In fact, let's play a little bit of that.
Mitt is tough. He's smart. He's sharp. He's not going to allow bad things to continue to happen to this country that we all love. So, Governor Romney, go out and get him. You can do it.
There are some things that you just can't imagine happening in your life.
Well, so RT, the DNC coming out pretty quickly with that ad, right? That was looking at how a billionaire was endorsing a millionaire in so many words. Pretty easy job for you guys these days?
Well, the fact of the matter is, Mitt Romney is not making gaffes. He's telling us what he believes, and he is completely out of touch with the American people. It's no coincidence the president came out with the work on foreclosure prevention. He's been doing that since he took office and inherited an economy in the tank. And I can point to people in my city and cities around the country who are in their homes because of President Obama. Mitt Romney said, let it, quote unquote, work its course. Well, that would have meant that more and more people would have been out of homes. What if we had done that with banks? Mitt Romney would have been in terrible shape. You know, he might have only had 3 homes by now. Well, we needed a president who's really going to stand up from day one, and that's what the president has done, and we don't need to go back to the bad old days that Donald Trump and Mitt Romney have done well at, but the rest of America needs a president who's going to stay with them.
Minneapolis Mayor R.T. Rybak, always great to see you, and John Ralston as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard, sorry for screwing up your name.
Oh,
Need
no
more
problem
coffee.
at all. You can call me Michael.
I need more coffee. I apologize.
You can call me Michael anytime. All right, we're moving on now.
I need more coffee.
A very strong warning from Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta. Israeli leaders are considering attacking Iranian nuclear sites. Let's get right to NBC's chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel. He's live in Tel Aviv. And Richard, what's the timeline